It is a big leap from a world that tells you you're never going to amount to anything to the dream world of beauty queen and MTV personality. But former Miss USA Susie Castillo did just that, and now she's written about all the hard work it took in her new book. It is called Confidence is Queen: The 4 Keys to Ultimate Beauty Through Positive Thinking. Susie, good morning.
Hello,
Hi,
Susie.
good morning to you.
Great to have a young person who is a role model for other young people, because they need to be lifted up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and that's something, you know, as when I became Miss USA and I started to do a lot of motivational speaking and more public speaking, and then I got to MTV and I was around young people all the time, I noticed they didn't have many role models.
Well, they have bad role models.
Or they have
Yeah,
negative
they do. They have very bad role models.
Yeah, that we see all the time, right? In like the weeklies and all that stuff. And so I thought, you know, this would be really great to do something positive for the youth of America, and just to show them, like, listen, this is the type of neighborhood that, because I didn't come from the best neighborhood, you know,
Or
and I was
family life situation.
exactly, and I talk about that in my book, and what I want to do is relate to young people and just to say, listen, this is where I came from, and look at where I am now, and you can do it. It is doable.
When I read the title, I thought it was about a beauty makeover, and then you kind of page through it, and it's about, there's a lot of it is about spirituality and how important that is in your life, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I just, when I started to sit down and write the book, I thought, do I want to do a bunch of chapters? And I thought, you know, I don't want to do that. I want to do something that's very structured and detailed, and I wanted to clearly explain what it was that I was talking about and the message that I wanted to portray. And spirituality I made key #1, because to me, I mean, what's more important than loving yourself?
Well, you
and
can't love
believing?
anyone else unless you love yourself in a
There's
good
so much
way.
that you can't do in life if you don't believe in yourself and you don't have that really great foundation, you know, and that's what spirituality is to me. You know, to me, I mean, it's not, it could be about religion to some people, but to me it's just about who you are and what your heart is made out of, you know. It's like what's in there, you know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Your father left your family when you were like
Yeah.
6, and you have other sisters and stuff. You saw your mom get 3 different jobs and work hard. And one of the quotes I read that really moved me was, you said, you know, when all the kids around me, we were joining gangs and doing drugs and doing all these things, she said, I couldn't dishonor my mother. I couldn't do that to her. She said it would have destroyed her, wouldn't it?
It really would have. You know, I did see my mom, you know, when my dad left, I was 6. My little sister was 6 months old. My older sister was 8. So here's this young woman with 3 young girls, and she was just like, well, what do I do? You know, my grandmother came in, very little money. You know, my dad left us with nothing. You know, it was tragic, you know, and but my mom was just such a pillar of strength, you know, and I mean, I remember her having 3 jobs at one time, you know, just to put food on the table. And how could I do that when I got older? It's like, I just thought to myself, not only do I not want this for me, but for my mom.
But
She's
the
worked
hopelessness
so
of
hard.
situations, you know, people feel so hopeless.
And I think, well, because of your mom, I think I was, when I was reading about you, I thought there's a reason that she's on the Today Show today.
And it's her mom.
And it's her mom. Because even though,
Absolutely.
you know, you had very little, there's something about the strength of one person with 2 pom-poms cheering you on, which clearly she has,
Yeah,
right?
and it's funny because I get asked a lot, you know, who was your role model growing up? And I'm like, well, you know, there were definitely actors. I mean, I'm an aspiring actress. That's the whole reason why I even entered the Miss USA pageant. I didn't grow up doing pageants because they were extremely expensive.
It was a stepping stone.
It definitely was a stepping stone, and I saw that, and that's why I entered the pageant, you know. And
So you're smart, too.
Yes. I studied all kinds of pageants in the U.S. before I decided on
really?
entering Miss USA. I did that specifically because I thought you get the most exposure by becoming Miss USA. But, you know, people ask me, who's your role model when you're growing up? And I said, you know, my mom and my grandmother. My grandmother had 19 children. You know, it's like...
It was no mommy makeovers.
No mommy makeovers back then. Are you kidding? She was like, you know, this poor woman from Puerto Rico, you know, and it was like, ugh. Yeah, can you imagine? I can't imagine having that.
What's your message for, I mean, if you had to kind of nutshell your message for young people, because a lot of young kids, you know, younger than you, are struggling. They can't find their way.
Yeah. You know, my message, it's hard, in a nutshell.
In 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, to believe in yourself. Do research, whatever it is that you really, truly want to do in life. Just believe that you can get there, you know?
And then do the hard work.
And then do the hard work. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. I mean, I'm at the point where I am at now, today in life, it's been over 10 years in the making. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of hard work, you know.
Well,
so, and don't give up.
Of
Don't give up, ever, 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 ever.
And God bless all those moms and grandmoms out there that make such a difference.
What's your mom's name?
Moms out there, I love
What's your mom's name?
Carmen Cintron.
Carmen
Cintron, we all love you.
Thank you, Carmen. All right, and Susie, thank you.
Very much. Next up, we're going to meet two women who have dedicated their lives to helping children, two of my very, very dearest friends after these messages.